Welcome to the Crypto Ledger. Every once in a while, a single comment from a financial insider just cuts through all the noise and makes everyone stop and listen. Well, today, we're digging into one of those moments, a real truth bomb about XRP that suggests a massive shift in who's getting serious about the asset. Let's jump right in. So this whole story revolves around a really powerful claim made by someone who's actually in the trenches, an active ETF issuer. And what he's saying is challenging a lot of the old ideas about XRP and where it fits in the global financial picture. This isn't just random market chatter. It's a sign that serious, big money players are starting to see this asset in a whole new light. And there it is. That's the sentence that's turning heads. Global pension funds and insurance companies. Think about that. We're talking about some of the most conservative long-term investors on the planet. This suggests XRP might be moving way beyond crypto speculation and into the realm of strategic, institutional portfolios. So who said it, and why is it such a big deal? The man behind the statement is Steve McClurg, and he's the CEO of a company called Canary Capital. Now, here's what makes this so important. Canary Capital actually issues ETFs. So this isn't some analyst on the sidelines just guessing. This is coming straight from a guy who is on the front lines, literally fielding the phone calls and seeing who's asking the questions. Okay, so McClurg gives us this really fascinating way to think about how money flows into a new product, like an XRP ETF. He doesn't see it as just one chaotic scramble. Instead, he sees it as two very separate, very distinct waves of demand that happen one after the other. Let's break down exactly what he means by that. So here's the key to his whole framework. It's a two-step dance. First, you get the retail wave. This is that initial explosion of interest from individual investors. The people driven by the excitement and the buzz of a new launch. This is the phase that grabs all the headlines right at the beginning. Did you know that 80% of the people who watch our The Crypto Ledger videos are not subscribed? Please help us with your subscription to continue uploading more valuable information and reach more people. And wow, this number really drives that first point home. Canary Capital's XRP ETF pulled in a massive $58 million in trading volume on its very first day. That is some serious immediate buy-in from the retail crowd, and it proved right away that this product had an eager audience waiting for it. But this is where the story really gets interesting. Because after that initial retail frenzied cool down, a totally different kind of phone started to ring. McClurg said, and I'm quoting here, "Then we started getting calls from pension funds and insurance companies globally. This was the start of that second, and you could argue much more important institutional wave." So that begs the question, right? Why XRP? Of all the thousands of projects out there with all their complex tech, what is it about this particular asset that connects with the super traditional conservative world of pension funds and insurance companies? Well, according to McClurg, the answer is actually pretty simple. Its utility is crystal clear. He uses this fantastic analogy that's so easy to get. He calls XRP the rails for the financial system. Now, unlike some of the more abstract or complicated crypto ideas, that is a concept Wall Street understands immediately. It speaks their language, the language of infrastructure, payment systems, and efficiency. McClurg really hammered this point home, saying it's an asset that's just easy to understand. And that clarity is everything. For an institution that has to justify every single dollar they invest and manage risk down to the finest detail, a clear, obvious use case is always going to be more compelling than a story based purely on speculation. You see, this shift in interest from retail traders to major institutions, it's about more than just a new source of cash. It signals a really deep change in how XRP is being perceived. It's moving out of the fast-paced world of speculation and into the quiet, deliberate domain of long-term strategy. Let's just put these two mindsets side by side for a second. Speculators, they're generally focused on the right now, the daily price swings, the volatility, the quick trades. But institutions, they are playing a completely different game, a much, much longer one. They're looking at long-term utility, doing deep, careful evaluations, and when they put money down, it is with very specific, deliberate intent. And these right here are the calling cards of that institutional money. These are not players who jump on every trend. They move slowly. They choose their words carefully. And when they finally decide to commit, they do it with serious conviction. Their interest alone is a powerful signal that an asset is being looked at through a much more serious long-term lens. So what's the big takeaway here? What does all this mean for the future?
Well, the arrival of this slow, methodical, and very intentional capital has analysts looking ahead with a new sense of optimism. It suggests a major shift is underway in how the asset could be positioned for the long haul.
If there's one point to take away, it's this: XRP is, in a way, graduating. It's starting to move beyond being seen as just a vehicle for speculation. The fact that pension funds and insurance companies are kicking the tires means it's now being seriously evaluated as a potential piece of core financial infrastructure. And this change in perception is what's causing experts to start looking further down the road. There's this growing feeling that the institutional foundation being laid right now could pave the way for much greater results for the asset as we get closer to 2026. And that really brings us to the final critical question. We've seen the retail wave come and go, and now we're seeing the first real signs of a serious institutional wave, one driven by a simple, clear understanding of what XRP does. So could this be it? Could this be the turning point that reshapes the entire story and future of the asset? That really is the billion-dollar question. The crypto ledger disclaimer: the information presented in this summary is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or any other type of advice. The crypto ledger is not responsible for the decisions you make based on this content. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified professional before making any financial decision. Cryptocurrencies and digital assets are inherently volatile and carry a high level of risk.